In this week's episode of 5am Chats, I had the pleasure of speaking to Hattie Brett, who is the editor of Grazia magazine and The Juggle. Hattie and I spoke all about dressing as a new mum and her own experiences of how she felt after she had her own two girls. So, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get into it. Welcome back to 5am Chats, and today I am joined by a very special guest. She is a mum of two girls, the same as me, and she is also editor of Grazia magazine and The Juggle. So welcome, Hattie Brett.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I am really good, thank you. The sun has been shining. I've realised that my paddling pool's broken, but other than that, all is good in my world.
We had the sprinkler out in the garden yesterday. It's always a winner with the girls just jumping through water when it's sunny, isn't it? It's really nice.
Exactly. So easy.
Yes. So shall we start by just talking a little bit about your experience of becoming a mum? So you have two girls. How did you find going through pregnancy and childbirth and having children whilst also working in the fashion industry?
Yeah, it's life-changing, isn't it? Everybody tells you that your life's going to change when you have kids, and you don't necessarily realize in what ways. But it definitely changed everything about my mentality, my body, my mind. And I've been really lucky, I'd say. I have two girls, as you say, they're 6 and 9. I was lucky enough to have relatively easy pregnancies, but I think nobody has an easy birth or an easy postpartum period. I think those times are really challenging when suddenly your axis has totally shifted, your priorities have changed, and it is a real juggle, as we like to say, hence why we called The Juggle our parenting platform. That is hard.
Was that the reason that you started The Juggle, to kind of be that place that tells it like it is in parenting?
Yeah, exactly that. So we actually had seen during lockdown that lots of the parenting stories that we were doing on Grazia were getting real traction and lots of engagement. And it made us realize that really we didn't feel there were enough places talking about parenthood in a real, relatable way. And that's kind of celebrating the goods, because there are loads of goods, but also talking about the challenges and the funny bits and the things that we need some help with from the government, for example, around our childcare campaign. So it's been really fun to do, actually, and really validating to hear so many people talking about parenting in a more real way, I think. And you're an example of that as well.
Yeah, there's definitely been a movement towards that in recent years on social, and it's the reason I started my platform as well, was to kind of show every side of motherhood, not just the good shiny bits that you used to see on Instagram. So yes, I am a big fan of everything that you're doing on The Juggle, and I particularly loved your maternal mental health campaign. I thought that was so empowering to see so many familiar faces who also went through postnatal depression or other kind of postnatal mental illness. So really powerful.
Thank you. That was really meaningful for me, actually, and it was great to work with the Maternal Mental Health Alliance on that campaign, and to be able to, I hope, make women realize that they're not alone, and anyone that is struggling or has struggled, that mental health in pre or post pregnancy affects all of us, and it's something that it's super important that we talk about openly and honestly.
Yeah, definitely. So when you had your girls, obviously working in the fashion industry, you're around super stylish people all day, every day. How long was it before you kind of felt like you could get back to being yourself and going back to work and feeling like Hattie again rather than just mum?
So I actually started a new job after both maternity leaves. So I would not necessarily recommend that. It's quite intense going into a new job after a maternity leave, let alone your second. But that's sort of the way it broke down for me, in that I was offered incredible opportunities that I felt like I couldn't turn down, including after I had my second daughter, being given the chance to edit Grazia, which is a brand that I really love and believe in. I would say, I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking going back to work is hard. You're filled with, a sense, well, I was filled with a sense of excitement to have my quote unquote old life back and to be using my brain in a different way. But I also loved being with my kids and seeing them develop and watching them discover the world. So it was a wrench to go back and to have that juggle begin. I'm really lucky. I work with a lot of brilliant women and men who understand that you can be both of those things. You can be an ambitious professional who loves their job and cares about it passionately, but you can also want to be home to read your kids a bedtime story. And I think, again, that kind of honesty of wanting both of those things with equal measure is really important, that more women talk about in the workplace.
Yeah, I think that flexibility is key, and it's something I think we've definitely it's come out of COVID in a positive way, is the flexibility to work from home or to do school pickups and kind of dictate your own hours in a way where you can do bedtimes and then maybe log on again and finish things off in the evening if you need to. I think it's something that's really important as a parent, just to keep on top of everything and keep sane. So, right.
Yeah.
So I asked the community some style related questions for you around how to kind of get your style back after you become a mum. So we'll go into the first one. Help, I've just given birth and need some comfy breastfeeding friendly outfit ideas.
Okay. I mean, the first thing I would say to preface all of these answers with is that, I am a mum of two. I juggle a big stakes job and the sandpit, and I'm certainly no expert, but I'm here to kind of help guide people through what I have realized has been super helpful from my point of view, style wise. So comfy breastfeeding, you're in the period where you need comfort. Comfort is the most important thing, I would say. The gift that I now give all of my new mum friends are some jogging bottoms from my favorite sportswear brand, which is called Viore. And it's super interesting. It's very sustainable as a brand. They're called performance joggers, which makes them sound really scary, but actually they are so soft and so comfortable, and they have a drawstring waist, so you'll be able to wear them for years to come. And I also have loads of leggings from there as well that I wear now to do the school run and when I'm working from home. So they're not just for that postpartum period. You can wear them all the way through. And I think that's also really important. Kind of don't get stuck in the sense of, I've got to buy new clothes for this period of my life. Like, try and think about things that you'll get longevity out of. Stick with natural fabrics. It sounds silly, but I was certainly very sweaty in those night feeds, or when you're walking the baby around attached to you, trying to get them to sleep. So think about natural fibers, think about things that you can wash. Definitely don't buy loads of dry clean only clothes, because you're going to have grass stains and mud and baby spit all over you. Cardigans, I would say, are your friend, or certainly were mine in that period. So you can button them up or down as you're feeding, or if you're wearing your baby in a baby carrier, you can wrap them around, because again, I found kind of big bulky coats were really hot in that period.
Yeah, I think for me as well, actually touched on night feeds there. I had a pajama top that had poppers on it that you could just pop open, and that was really handy. Just
That's a
easy
great
access.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually only chose baby grows that had poppers for that period too, for the same reasons. Nothing more annoying than like twiddly little buttons when you can barely see and you're really tired. So yeah, good pajamas, I think, are they're a great gift by somebody who's in that period. And to treat yourself, I think that's the other thing. Whilst I say don't buy clothes that are only for that period, treat yourself. You're going through a really tough time, and actually having a really nice pair of pajamas can make you feel better about yourself. And that's what clothes should be all about, I think.
Exactly. So the next question is about mum jeans. So can I wear mum jeans at age 42, new mum 10 months ago, and I live in leggings. Now, I have to say, I became a mum 4 years ago and I still live in leggings. So there's nothing wrong with that.
For sure. I agree with you on that. I still wear my fair share of leggings. And I actually weirdly kind of never thought I'd be the type of person that would wear leggings out the house. And now I do all the time. And I love them and they're brilliant. So if you're in that stage and that's working for you, stay in that stage. But also don't rule yourself out of jeans or out of denim, because absolutely, can you do that? For sure. Just because you're a mum doesn't mean you have to take out swathes of style that you wore before either. And actually, I think now's a really good time to buy jeans on the high street. There's loads of relaxed denim out there right now. I've got some brilliant Arquette Cloud jeans that I just bought. They're kind of really baggy, relaxed, really comfy. I wear them with a belt and a white t-shirt. They're quite low-waisted, but I've also got a great pair of Marks and Spencer's Palazzo jeans, which are like high-waisted but with a wide leg. They're super comfortable as well. Again, you can wear them with trainers to the playground, but also put some boots on when it comes to going to work when you're in that stage. So definitely don't rule out denim. You can do it if you want to.
I just actually also bought some Marks and Spencer's jeans. I bought their carrot jeans, which I was totally influenced by, and they are so comfy and so good, like such good quality, and the fit is amazing. So yeah.
Well, you're not alone, because those have been absolutely all over social media, haven't they? And with good reason. Yeah, they're a really good one.
They're sold out now, actually. So
you need to put on alert, like put it on alert. But I think M&S do such good denim, and actually it's not the place that you automatically think of for denim, but it's really brilliant. So good choice.
Yes, absolutely. Right, so the next question, moving on from jeans, is around the most flattering ways to cover my mum tum.
Yeah, look, it's really hard when you have a baby and your body changes. That's something I can really identify with, having had, 2 kids and 2 pregnancies, 2 postpartums. I would say, one of the things I would say is thinking about foundations, actually, and thinking about underwear. And that might seem slightly tangential, but I feel so many women, even if they haven't had a kid, don't know whether they're wearing the right size bra and probably haven't refreshed their underwear drawer for a really long time. So actually, I would start there with supportive but really comfortable underwear, and go and get yourself your bra fitted. I think that's super important that we talk about that, especially after you've been breastfeeding. Your breasts change shape and size quite a few times. And I know so many women that never do that and still stay in the same underwear as they were wearing before they had kids. And even just for your own mental health, taking yourself to a bra fitting and getting your bra properly fitted is such an empowering thing that you can do in that postpartum period. So I would say, it's all about confidence, and it's all about finding things that make you feel good and not worrying too much about the size in the label or the shop it's from or the style that you're wearing. Does it make you feel really good in the moment? Then go for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes we get so caught up with having to be a certain size, or, you've always been a size 10 and you feel like you have to fit into a size 10, but your body does change so much after having a baby that it's actually just wear stuff that's comfortable and that feels good. And if you have to size up, who cares? It doesn't really matter too much. I've got clothes in so many different sizes in my wardrobe, and it's just because I like the fit. I don't really worry too much around if it's a small, medium or large. It's how I want it to look on me that's important, rather than the label itself. So I think, to anybody wanting to cover bits up, then definitely think about how you want to feel and how you want the clothes to look on you, and don't worry too much about the labels and the sizing.
Good advice.
Okay, so the next question is all about a capsule wardrobe. So need inspiration for a mummy capsule wardrobe.
Okay, so I would say, call me boring. I'd like to call myself classic rather than boring, but I really do live in relaxed jeans, in denim and white t-shirts. And I think the white t-shirt, I mean, it's funny that we're both wearing one today, when I was thinking about this, but I genuinely feel like that is the holy grail that a woman is constantly searching for, to find a great white t-shirt. I love a brand called the T Store, which is just brilliant, and they kind of have turn ups already sewn in, so they look really casual. They're great cotton, they wash really well, because that's super important to me, that I can stick everything in the machine. So I live in white t-shirts and jeans, but then I will like add things to make it feel more interesting. So I'll often add a shirt worn open over a t-shirt or a vest. And I think layering when you're a mum and thinking about style is really important, because if you're anything like me, you're going from playground to soft play, you're often out all day in all weathers. Plus shirts are really good for breastfeeding, because you can obviously unbutton them and button them back up. I mean, even last week when I was at the beach, I tied one around my toddler who had gone into the sea and got really wet. So, you can use them for a makeshift skirt for them. And I would shout out a brand called With Nothing Underneath that does really brilliant shirts. All they do is shirts, and they do great linen ones. I have loads for the summer, and brushed cotton ones, which are a bit heavier for winter. So definitely a shirt, I would say. I also swear by scarves, because again, it's a really easy way to change up your look and make it feel fresh and seasonal. I specifically like cotton scarves or linen scarves that again can go in the wash, but you can use them as a blanket when you suddenly stop in the park and you're having a picnic, or if you even need to wipe away some stray noses, some running noses, you can use them for that. These are the glamorous things I think about when I think about a capsule wardrobe. But they can add some interest to your look as well. And I think it's all about the little things that can add interest. So I'm really into baseball caps at the moment. A great belt. So one of my very good fashion editor friends came round and looked at my wardrobe one time. She was like, "Great, but you've literally got no belts. What is wrong with you? You need a belt." She made me get a great belt from De Hange, which is one that all the fashion editors are wearing right now. And it's expensive, it's an investment, but it really makes jeans and a t-shirt look like an outfit.
Yeah, I think as well, adding jewelry as well, it dresses it up, doesn't it? Because having a basic outfit of jeans and a white t-shirt, it can look really plain and boring. But as soon as you get some really nice jewelry on and a belt, and then add some really nice accessories, it can really change how it looks. So
Yeah.
really good.
Although I always found earrings tricky with kids. Like that's one of the things I love about going to work, is I always wear my like most flamboyant earrings, because whenever I'm with the kids, they like pull at your ears and then try and take your earrings off. So, but yes, I agree. Great necklace, great jewelry.
Yes. I think as well, outerwear can change your look as well. That's something that I have a bit of a soft spot for, is a great coat. So whether that's a trench coat or like a kind of relaxed denim jacket, or a nice wool coat for the winter, I think investing in some good outerwear is always going to last the test of time.
I agree, and I also think when you're a mum, you are outside a lot more than I ever was before. So, to be really honest, I'd ask your community. I'm still on the hunt for a winter puffer coat that makes me feel warm and chic. I think every year I say to myself, like, okay, this is the winter, I'm going to get one, and then it gets to the end of winter and I haven't found quite the right one. So I'm still on the hunt for that. But I definitely agree, jackets, coats. I love like a quilted jacket that feels quite relaxed. And again, you can sort of throw it on and use it to sit on in the park as a blanket. Yeah, coats, great. They can totally transform an outfit.
Definitely. Well, I hope that helps. So the last question, I don't know if this is so much around mum style in general, but what are the next it trainers? I don't want Sambas.
So is that in reference, I wonder, to the story about Rishi Sunak killing the Adidas Samba trainer? To which I say, if you still love the Adidas Samba, you wear them. And I must admit, I'm still wearing mine because I love them and I think that's totally fine. But we have had this discussion so much recently at Grazia because it's come up a lot in our conferences where people are just sort of saying, you know what, the Samba's great, but it's quite ubiquitous now. You see a lot. You go to the playground and there are literally 5 or 6 pairs of Sambas there by the swings. So I get that. Actually, you want to be original. You want to think of something else. The one that we've been talking about a lot at Grazia at the moment is the Puma Palermo trainer. It's really cool. It's still sort of sporty like the Samba, comes in black with a sort of swipe, a Puma swipe, which is really nice and also good, I think, because you can wear it dressed up for work or for an event as well. And again, that goes back to that sense of don't buy a pair of trainers that are only your playground trainers. Buy a pair of trainers that you can wear at many different occasions with a tailored trouser for work or with a great pair of jeans when you're at the weekend. If you still love Adidas, but you want something slightly different, the other one that we've been talking about a lot is the SL72, which is still kind of has that retro feel to it, so it feels quite sporty, but is slightly different from the Samba. And same idea, the Reebok Club C is also a good one, I think, if you're looking for that kind of sporty, colourful trainer. That's the other thing that we've been talking a lot about at Grazia, is like the colourful trainer, I feel, is a nice addition for the summer. And again, can make jeans and a white t-shirt and a belt feel really different if you have a like pop of colour suede trainer.
I'm not very good at wearing colour, so I think a trainer is a good way to get that little bit of colour into my wardrobe without going all out.
Well, let me tell you, I am not very good at colour either, but I do like a coloured trainer and a coloured scarf and a coloured bag, actually. I feel, you know, I get it why most women, when they buy a bag, will buy a black bag or a navy bag or a tan bag. But actually, some of my bags that I love the most are red because you can wear them you can wear it in winter or in summer. So I think maybe thinking about accessories to add colour is always a good option.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And I will definitely also be looking at those trainer options because I have been wearing my Sambas to death and I feel like, yeah, you do kind of, when you go out, it is spot the Samba on the street. When you get on the train to go to work, it's literally every other person has them. But I do have a bit of a problem with trainer culture nowadays moving so fast. It feels like you just get a trainer and then a couple of months later it's already done to death and everyone's got it. So
Well, I think the thing with the Sams is they were quite hard to get, I felt. You know, by the time I'd actually managed to get a pair and I had loads of alerts set up on loads of different websites, you know, people were already talking about them being over. So, yeah, I agree. It's kind of the cycle that we're in. It can sometimes feel like it's too fast for my liking.
Yeah, kind of the cool kids on Instagram wearing it, and then by the time you've actually managed to get your whole hands on them, they've already moved on to the next thing.
Yeah. Well, we're on sandals now. That's what we were talking about this morning in our conference. Sandals, because it's been so sunny. So apparently jelly shoes are having a comeback. I'm here to tell you.
Okay.
Into my fashion team. So, and not just for kids. So we're excited about seeing that. That can be our alternative to Sambas.
Yes, I am very excited for sandal season. I bought a pair at the weekend when the sun came out, and now it's not so sunny. So I'm hoping that I will get to wear them very soon.
Good to buy at the start of the summer, though, because then you'll get lots of wear out of them. I sound like such a mum there, don't I? You'll get lots of wear out of them. The things that come out of your mouth.
I know, exactly. That's the thing about children's clothes as well, isn't it? Is that they're in them for such a short space of time that you really want them to wear them until they're worn out, because otherwise it feels like a bit of a waste of money, doesn't it? You think, gosh, I've bought you this beautiful dress and you've worn it twice and now you're never going to wear it again. It's quite sad. But
Yeah,
I guess
so true. I mean, I've got 2 girls, so I'm lucky in that sense. And my sister also has 2 girls. So we're very female-centric family, so the clothes literally go from kind of her eldest to my youngest, and get a decent amount of wear. But one of the things I love is kids' clothes that have, I don't know if you've seen this, they have the label and they have the name. So it's like, it acknowledges the fact that clothes are going to be passed on to multiple people, and it has a place for you to put their names. And I think that's such a small detail, but I've seen it on a few brands now, and I think it's such a nice way of actually reminding you to pass on kids' clothes.
Yeah, and that it's okay to do that, because I think you can often feel guilty that the second one is just getting loads of hand-me-downs and not getting the pristine new clothes that the first one had. But actually, it's much more eco-friendly. It's much better to just hand it down and get more wear out of it. So
yeah, and I think sites like Vinted as well, like lots of my friends are using that to sell their old kids' clothes and to buy kids' clothes. I think that's been a really positive development, especially around, you know, those seasonal events like Christmas, where lots of people understandably want a Christmas jumper or need for school. Like now my kids are in school, they need a Christmas jumper for Christmas jumper day. There are so many kind of events where kids need something that they're not actually necessarily going to wear for a long period of time. It's really interesting and positive, I think, to see that kind of circularity now coming from sites like eBay and Vinted.
Yeah, definitely. You have just reminded me that I need to start putting some things on Vinted myself. I have a loft full of clothes now from, you know, up to age 3 to 4 that I will never use again, and it feels very sad. But yeah, it's much better to pass them on rather than just chuck them in a charity shop that'll probably never get sold in.
Yeah, exactly. We've all got those lofts full of clothes that you think, oh, one day I'm going to sort through that, and then it never quite is that one day. But my little one loves going to the loft. She's like, oh, can we go and look for clothes from? So I love that. I'm always like, yeah, let's go get the bag of your sister's old clothes and sort through them. She's a real, like, she's going to be a good vintage hunter, I think, in life to come.
Very nice. It's always, I think, for kids, the loft is such a exciting place because they don't see it all the time. They wonder what treasures are up there. Yeah. My girls are the same. Right. Well, thank you very much. That's come to the end of all of our questions. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today about style and being a mum, and how also you've juggled the return to work and motherhood and everything else that's come with it. So thank you very much, Hattie, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you so much, Laura. Nice to speak to you.
I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took away a couple of style tips that you can take forward for your own wardrobe. I know that I am going to head down to M&S and get a bra fitting straight after this. That's it for now. See you next week.